Hey guys, welcome to Star Wars Timeline. Today we're looking at the 4th episode of Kenobi show. As always, this is going to be a full spoiler on review. You guys have been warned. If you haven't watched the episode, go away now. Alright, full spoilers. Also, this is a pretty straightforward story, right? There's not a lot to go over. So I will mostly talk about my impression of this. And guys, for those of you who watched my channel, I made it clear before the show is gonna air that I'm gonna be especially honest and candid about it, and I'll give you my full honest review. So for those of you who are enjoying the show, guys, I celebrate you, I welcome your opinions here, but this might be a bit of a brutal watch, alright? Up to this point, the show has been okay so far. I haven't been blown away, it's been okay, and now we're over half of the show, right? We're in episode 4, and there's only 2 more episodes to go. So what exactly happens here, and what did I think of it? So, once again, I mentioned it was a pretty straightforward story. As expected, we see Kenobi, he's brought back to this base, and these don't seem like rebels, just like refugees, right? They're stayed clear, they're not soldiers. And of course, the first thing that Kenobi needs to do is to heal. I actually enjoyed that little scene. In the back to tank, he's healing, and there's a nice parallel to Kenobi, to Vader, where Vader is obviously, he has amputated arms, he's a more machine-like, he's a monster, where Kenobi has more human features. Obviously, he's fully man, but he is tormented. His wounds are not just physical, they're mostly inside, because he has these crazy visions of their previous duel, which was not obviously a good experience. So I like that part a little bit. Again, we're adding a little bit of gravitas, and we're looking inside of Kenobi's mind. He's tormented, and he's not the same person that we see at the end of the Return of the Jedi. So a lot of fans who have griped with like, hey, look, this is not the same Kenobi, why is he not as powerful? Well, I think it's a legitimate way to show that he needs to get back on the horse, so to speak. And if you haven't been in contact with the Force for over 10 years because the fight is over, then you got to get back into it, right? So it takes time. I understand that. And now he enlists the help of these pilots. He says, look, guys, we got to go after there. Where's Leia? That's the first thing he says. His mind is on the Leia. I like the fact that the show is very focused on this one idea. It's Vader's quest to find out where Kenobi is and destroy him. Well, it's Kenobi's actually, his mission is to find and save Leia. So it's pretty understandable, and we don't go really outside of the boundaries of that story. I like that. It's very intimate and focused story. It's focused on Vader and Kenobi. And now we're in Fortress Inquisitorum. Once again, a very expected thing is happening. Again, no surprises here. This is where the story needs to go. We see the third sister, Moses Ingram, interrogating Leia. She tries to come at Leia from every side. She tries to be kind, compassionate. Look, I understand what you're going through. Everything that I had also has been taken from me. All right, she's trying to relate to Leia. Guys, I made it very clear on my channel, on my Facebook group, I fully support Moses Ingram as a person. I think she's a wonderful human being. She's gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure she's talented. This character is not working for me in the show at all. I suspect, I'm not a professional filmmaker, but I suspect a lot of it has to do with how it's presented on screen, actor directing, what the author had in mind, Deborah Chow, in terms of how she's going to film it, what lines she's going to give to the character, and which acting takes she's going to take, right? When the actor performs a line and she says, no, try again, or yes, this is the line, we're going to stick to it. Nothing sticks. This scene is supposed to be very tense, very scary, and we understand the show is not just strictly for adults. It's a family-oriented show. But it's okay to have a little bit of tension and frights. We're not showing you scary monsters here. We're just showing you an adult interact with a child, and that's not a good adult. That's an inquisitor. She's supposed to be threatening. She's supposed to be imposing figure. And she's supposed to be just nasty. We're supposed to hate her. It's like, oh my God, what is she doing to this little girl? On the paper, it kind of works because, as I said before, the scene kind of functions as far as my understanding of it goes. Like, okay, I understand what she's trying to do. But the way that it's executed, it's not happening. There's zero tension here. It just falls completely flat. But I do enjoy that Vivian Lyra Blair, as a young 10-year-old actress, she's channeling Leia 100%. Moses Ingram, she's channeling the lines that she was given 100%. I think the actors are doing their job. I think it's Deborah Chow. When she was first announced for the show, I remember fans jumped at it. Oh my God, her episode of, from Mandalorian was so amazing. She's going to do a tremendous job. Well, I wasn't sold based on just that. I was like, okay, there's one good episode there. What else has Deborah Chow has done that I've seen? I personally haven't. I'm pretty sure she has a body of work prior to the Star Wars, but I haven't seen it. So I was a little bit, questioning it. Okay, let's see how it's going to turn out. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. If not, big deal. The directing in this show is not working for me so far. Then we move on to different part. Now we're breaking into Fortress Inquisitorum. This is supposed to be an impenetrable fortress, right? It's so powerful, it's so guarded and monitored that they don't even need any kind of defensive mechanisms there, because who would be stupid enough to get in there? Of course, this character, Tala, who believes she might still have those Imperial clearances, she lands nonchalant, she walks in, and she intimidates the little post guard there, security guard, and tells him, hey, look, I have secret information here, I'm just gonna break in. Again, I see what the director was trying to do to set up the tension. Once again, I gotta give it out to Indira Verma, tremendous actress. She was amazing in Game of Thrones, and she pulls it off from her perspective as an actress. As a dialogue lines, as a scene, it just doesn't work. This episode is completely devoid of any true tension, and I'm gonna actually bring this argument home towards the end of this video. So she just waltzes in, she goes in, she tries to find out through the computer system where Leia is, obviously hearkening back to A New Hope. They're still looking for Leia. It's an interesting parallel, I guess. I don't mind it. On his end, Kenobi is jumping and he's swimming under the water. He's trying to find his other route, which gives like an interesting homage to the Phantom Menace. Remember when Qui-Gon Jinn and Kenobi are swimming to the Gungan City? I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. He even has the same mouthpiece. I kind of liked it. It was a little nice homage there. I gotta take what I like in the episode. You know what I'm saying? Because my review of this particular episode is going to be pretty sharp. So Kenobi starts doing his whole sneaking around shenanigans. Once again, very predictable. We understand what is happening. Of course, he has convenient little like parts in the hallways to hide and dodge all the security droids. Like, there is no stakes. There is no difficulty for him like navigate his way through. Same for Talas. They just basically go in, they do and accomplish everything they need to do without any real high like stakes or losses towards the end of the episode. The third sister had enough with the kid. She's like, you know what? That's it. Let's go and just torture her. Like, okay, we're getting somewhere now. What's going to happen? And, of course, they try to scare Leia. And Kenobi says, hey, look, we need a distraction. And, of course, the torture scene abruptly ends because, obviously, on Disney Plus, they're not going to show any horrible things happening to a child. And, of course, Kenobi is there on cue. And this is where I have the biggest problem. And it's not just with one scene. It's throughout the entire show. The devil is in the details. Small details comprise the whole product. Without attention to small details being really, really effective and sharp and on point, you don't have a great overall product. And the way that Kenobi just disposes of these two guards sets up for the rest of this episode what's going to happen. Lights go off. He completely dismantles one stormtrooper. Once again, stormtroopers are completely useless and non-threatening. They basically might as well be just props standing there. And the other guy's just standing there in the dark. He's like, oh, where are you? Don't move. No thinking involved in the scene. No craftsmanship. It's just basically just rudimentary stuff. They're just standing there and that's it. Kenobi just disposes of them. I was like, oh, okay, that's such a throwaway scene. He grabs little Leia. Once again, the highlight of this episode, what anchors me, is Ewan McGregor's amazing performance, Vivian Leah Blair as Leia, and Indira Verma. All three actors. Even O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son, he is on point. I liked his acting for a little bit that we saw in there. So the actors are not a problem. It's how the show is crafted. And of course, now there is this obligatory escape scene. They actually tried to copy a scene from the Jedi Fallen Order where the crack in the window happens and the water is about to flood in. We see a much more tense, high-stakes scene happening in the video game. And just to compare, Moses Ingram's third sister versus the second sister in the new Jedi Order video game portrayed by Elizabeth Goulon. Wow, what a stark difference. Again, it's nothing against the actresses. I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing how the story is crafted, how it's executed, what dialogues they have, and so forth. You guys understand where I'm coming from. And second sister, man, she was just a psychopath. She was scary. She was frightening. She was capable. Aside from Vader that we see later on in the game, that we see of this second sister predominantly being the antagonist in the video game, she was amazing. Third sister, she's like, oh, oh, okay, let me do something. I gotta, prove myself to Darth Vader. I need to be the Grand Inquisitor. Okay, only by the end of the episode, she tries to sort of convince Vader that, look, I put a track in there. The most obvious thing is obviously the toy droid that Leia has. But anyway, this escape happens, and as they run out, I did like the part where Kenobi is dodging all of those, like batting off all those blaster bolts. That was pretty cool. The choreography was nice. And once again, it's so cool to see that Ewan McGregor is in perfect form. He's doing it, and it's pretty cool. Once again, if the rumors of the second season are true, and we indeed get a second season, I'll be happy for it, because there'll be a lot of room for improvements. Listen to fan criticism and say, hey, maybe we can do better the second time around. Guys, and also don't forget that this show has been produced during a pandemic. So again, I'm not going to be too harsh on the director and say she completely has zero talent, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, I don't exercise this kind of vitriol, guys. If you're looking for some like people spazzing out on YouTube and feed your anger, that this is not the channel to do it. I'm just honestly judging this episode by what I see on screen, and what I see there is just not very effective. They get out, and they get to the scene where, okay, now we're stuck. We're on this platform. No rescue is coming, right? Because we don't have soldiers here. And, Kenobi and Tala, they're completely surrounded. What's going to happen next? By the way, on their walk out, as they're walking out, Kenobi's rocking this Imperial trench, and little Leia is inside there. It is so on the nose and cartoony and over the top. It literally made me feel like it's like a Nickelodeon show cartoon episode. Like, really? This is Fortress Inquisitorum. There's like, these guys are completely non-efficient buffoons. They're supposed to be highest level security fortress, where they do these horrible things to the like Jedi that they capture and they put in there, and like a mausoleum. That was such a terrible little scenery there. And yet Kenobi, everybody else, gets to the end point, to that complete deadline where there is no escape, completely free, without, like, nobody even stops them to question. There's like 4 feet walking in there in stride under that trench. It was just completely ridiculous and took me completely out of the experience. And what happens at the end, once again, works against the episode, not for it. Because out of nowhere, out of blue, 2 A-Wings fly in, and they do a very soldiery kind of thing. Which, once again, in the beginning of the episode, we're told that we don't have soldiers, right? We're just civilians, and we're in hiding. Well, those 2 pilots seem to be pretty efficient to me. Of course, one of them, I knew, like, by default, right on cue, one of them had to just topple into the ocean and die, blazing into his death, because at least some stakes had to be there. Somebody had to be thrown under the bus. Of course it's not going to be Kenobi. Of course it's not going to be Tala, because she's too important for this show for now. Again, it's just made me feel like this Fortress Inquisitorum, along with all of this Inquisitors, are completely futile, useless. And why should I be scared of them when a 10-year-old kid and a Jedi that they should be able to sense, because, oh no, he's hiding in the Force too, or something like that. I don't know. He's not attuned to the Force yet. 10 other excuses. They just waltz out of the main entrance, and like nobody stops them until the very end. It's really, really weird. And then the final scene. Now, we know for a fact that James Earl Jones is doing the voice for Vader, which I adore. It sounds amazing. But it's so out of sync with Vader's performance, because when the actor walks in super fast and he grabs the third sister and he starts interrogating her, there's a moment there where he walks so fast and abruptly stops, and then his voice is super calm. It's the tension between the posturing and movement of the actor versus the voice work, which are out of sync completely. And Vader says, well, I'm not just going to kill you yet. I'm just going to give you another chance, which I don't remember Vader doing anything of the sort in the original trilogy. You fail him once, you're done. You don't have a second chance. Well, here, magically, because, we still need third sister, prove to me why I should keep you alive. Oh, by the way, I put a track in there. Wow, what an excuse. Again, it is so contrived, it is so on the nose, and it's so unimaginative. I can't. This is mediocrity, guys. This is not what I wanted from the show. I think Star Wars fans should expect more. And I said it earlier before the show would come out that I'll be very honest and I will judge this particular show by a whole different set of criteria other than the previous stuff, because I didn't care about Mandalorian. I didn't care about the Book of Boba Fett. They all provided to me thrills and entertainment that I wasn't looking for. Like, all right, cool. Not amazing shows, but pretty fun. Same is happening here. It feels like conveyor belt Disney-fied Star Wars on demand. More Star Wars, more Star Wars. How about we focus on quality versus quantity, which I'm not seeing here. I'm seeing some of it here. I'm seeing that the actors are putting their hearts and souls into it, and they're trying really hard to make it good. But from the directorial point, it's just not happening. Maybe the way it's set up, maybe that's the pipeline, how they told Deborah Chow, this is how you're going to execute the show. These are the rules, these are the calendars, and you have to provide us with episode by these specific dates. It's just, there is no spirit of innovation or energy. Something like Stranger Things 4th episode is booming on Netflix for a reason, guys. It is so much better than everything else that's on Netflix now. Like, I want Star Wars to feel like that again. So yeah, my closing thoughts on this is very mediocre. I don't expect the show to improve any more than this. With still more 2 episodes to go, but after this season closes, I don't expect that we will learn anything about these characters that we couldn't imagine if the show never existed. Like, we could surmise, oh, you know, probably in his period of life, Kenobi kind of went through this hardship, but then he came through and he became this mentor to Luke once again. Or Vader, maybe there were kind of some thoughts and regret or anger at Obi-Wan Kenobi and wanted to kill him. That's it. The show at this point does not provide any new sandbox of imagination for us to sit down and say, wow, I never expected this. Wow, I never thought of this. The only exception being that Leia was being kidnapped, which I felt was pretty refreshing, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is there to go and meet her. I'm not even comparing it to the original trilogy and say, well, you know, the meeting between Kenobi and Vader disrupts the original scene that we see in A New Hope. It's not even that. I'm merely looking at the show within its own format. Is it succeeding at the story it's trying to tell? It's not providing anything beyond your regular surface level thrills, like, oh, look, Vader, oh, look, Fortress Inquisitorum, oh my god, now we see live action Inquisitors, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't have a heartbeat, a pulse of its own. Anyway, guys, if I was too harsh, please let me know what your thoughts are. If you're enjoying it, if you don't expect high cinema from your Star Wars and you're just there for just basic fun and thrills, sit down with your kids and just enjoy and have a good time. Maybe I'm being too critical because I look at Star Wars the way I look at everything else. I'm looking for good storytelling and powerful cinematography first, and then good Star Wars second. That's my only criteria. That's the only thing that I'm looking at. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review, if you agree, disagree, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.